Yeah, real excited to be able to host again the Big 12 championships. We've gotten in a good habit of being able to have it at home, and so we couldn't be more proud. And it's going to be a really battle on the women's side for the championship and on the men's side too. So if you look on paper, it's really close on both sides. But once again, we're excited to be at home and to have that opportunity to bring home some championships.
Can you address it from the context of obviously your men are trying to win again, and the women have come close a number of times but have never won it?
That's correct. I think we're going for a three-peat on the men's side, and would love for that to be a part of our history here. And the women, we feel like this is the closest opportunity they've had in a long time, and we've got to have a really good meet. On paper, BYU is number 2 in the country but also beat us on paper, but it's very close. And so we need to have a great meet on the women's side, and really on the men. I think we're about a 10-point favorite there, and you can't mess up too much. And so we just need to have good meets on both sides.
I know obviously they've been gone for a while now, but do you miss running against Texas?
I really wish Texas was here this year. I really do. We've beaten them several times in the men, and I think our women definitely would beat them this year. And so I wish they were in. I think we'd beat both of them, but I really wish they were. Them in Oklahoma both.
From a standpoint of obviously you're motivated to win conference championships, but you also have a number of athletes who are just outside the top 16 to make the NCAA. So this is. You have as much motivation this weekend probably as any weekend during the year, right?
Absolutely. No, you're exactly right. Day 1 and day 2 on Friday and Saturday, our goal is to win the championship here. But during that championship, we are really hoping that 4 or 5 of our kids that are close. We literally have, I believe, a 17th or 18th in a women's triple jump, and there's just some areas, maybe the long jump in the men, and the hurdles with our men, where the 3rd and 4th guy. There's just several areas we're hoping better, and then we're hoping for better marks out of some of the kids that are maybe 8th or 9th or 10th ranked right now. We've got to get better marks to secure our spot at the national meet, and we've got to get more people in the meet. And so you got to do it here this weekend.
You mentioned that earlier this year, and you talked about it there, but being your best team on the women's side on paper, just not able to get over that hump in years past. What was your message to them when you guys met right before you came in here, just to them specifically, because obviously the guys know how to overcome all of that?
Yeah, I told them that 26 years ago I came here, and it took us till 2005 to win the men, and how I felt like our program changed once we won that first Big 12 championship, of how the administration looked at us, how our fans looked at us, how my biggest donors have rallied around me since 2005. And I just told them that the Big 12 championship is important. We don't have 20 games of basketball that you get to be rated with. We got one Friday and Saturday during the whole year you get judged on, and I told them we get judged on that this weekend. So we just need to understand the significance of it, the importance of it to our university and to our team and to our program. And I don't think they do, but I want to remind them of that.
Sprints and hurdles have been huge for your men the last couple of years and winning the championship. How do you feel about those groups going in this week? Yeah,
I feel real good. What's changed with 16 teams instead of, before, the quality is going to outweigh more. What did we score, 180 points here one year? And I think you're going to see more of the 130 to 125. Because there's more people beating each other up, there's more people to go against and compete against, and so I think the quality is going to be the most important thing. And of course, on Friday, that making the finals and filling up lanes, I call it, is just vital. And you're going to have to be on, you're running full speed. You're giving it everything you got in those prelims.
Zach always has a little folded piece of paper that he keeps every year that has the numbers that you believe you have to have. Have you made that sheet yet? And what do you think are the numbers that you have to hit for both men and women?
I think 130 on the men is going to win, and I think about 120 on the women is going to win. And you know, normally I'm a little bit high there, but you know, and I'll be okay if I don't care what it is as long as we can do it. But yeah, Zach, he always sat in the stands. He had his cheat sheet with him, and he'll probably do that from Boca too, watching the meet on ESPN Plus. But it's just going to be a battle. It's going to be really close. Iowa State on the men have got a really well-rounded team. They're always good in distance. They're the ones on the closest to us on paper, and then BYU is ranked number 2 in the country on the women. They're very, very good in everything, but especially in the middle distance to distance.
So where does the strength of this team, and what, by Friday, you'll know what?
Well, by Friday, we do have the distance medley finals, we have the weight throw finals, and we have pole vault finals. So that's going to tell some, and then we also have the DMR, 5K. And so hopefully we're going to have a lot of people qualified for the finals. And it does tell you everything, because if you don't qualify on Friday, you can pretty much tell, well, wow, if BYU gets a bunch of people in the prelims and we don't, or in the finals and we don't, then it's going to tell you it's going to be hard to beat them. But if we fill up lanes and we get people qualified and then we do well, and we do have the long jump too, I didn't mention that. So those are events that we got to have some points. And if we can do that, then we're going to be right in the thick of it.
Who's on the outside of the 16 that you anticipate being inside the 16 at the end of this meeting?
Well, like Grace in the triple jump, I want to say she's 17th. We have 3 or 4 girls. With Ruda being out now, the others will move up. But we're hoping to get 3 or 4 girls in the national meet in the triple jump, even without Ruda. And then, you know, we've got boy sprinters and boy hurdlers. Sincere Ray is 7.65, and that's probably 17th or 18th. Well, you know, those are just anything that those guys do that's a little bit better is going to make a difference in getting to nationals.
What's the power of 1 point? You know, you always talk about filling up lanes, but
Yeah.
what's the power of 1 point for this?
Let me tell you what they're going to hear tomorrow night at our dinner is, okay, I don't care if you're having a great meet or having a bad meet. If you're 7th, then you look to get 6th. Or if you're getting a 6th, you look to get 5th. I mean, every point's going to be valuable, and you can't allow yourself mentally to not give it your best when you're not having a good day. If you're not having a good day, get what you can get. And so I think, especially on the women's side, that every point's going to be valuable.
How impressed have you been with Fani this year, and kind of looking forward to the championship?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I coach her personally, so I've been so proud of her. It's one of the toughest, if not the toughest event in the Big 12. Everybody has good 800-meter people, but she has not been beaten this year. It'll be hard for her to say that this weekend. The national champion, 2 flat in the 800 is there, Jana Hunter, but then there's 201 from TCU and a 202 from BYU, their second best girl. But I think she can run 202 somewhere in there, and she's just a competitor. And she ran 207 last year, and she has run twice 203, and I think we're on the brink. Like I say, she hasn't been pushed totally, and she'll get pushed this weekend. So I'm hoping for some great things out of her.
Anybody besides Ruda and Solomon that you mentioned that are out?
No, Devontae Ford will not run. He strained his hamstring in our last meet. So, but we're running Samuel. They're almost a 1/10 of a second apart, 0.01, I think, maybe even part 100th. So our hurdles, we're very strong there. We've got depth with 4 to 5 people. You know, so I think we'll be fine there. Our guys just got to do what we can do. And if we take care of business, then nobody can beat us. But we gotta show up.
I always forget the roster for indoors.
26. Yeah, very tough. We have 68 women and we have 62 guys. So it's a tough roster to make. It's like making that top 16 indoors. Indoors is hard to score because you got to get there, and then you got to make the team for the 26. You know, for Big 12. So.
How do you do that? You post it on the wall? I mean,
We just sent it out in an email on the Teamworks, and then we handed the sheet out to them just a moment ago. We did it. Entries are due at midnight tonight, so I don't want to go into detail of where we put people, but I can talk to you tomorrow. But you'll see it tomorrow because all the entries are done by midnight.
So that's, I mean, we never talk about that, but how do you think that's handled within the team when people are on the bubble and they either just make it in?
I mean, I know for their head coach, and you know, for me to tell a few of the people that they didn't make it is heartbreaking, and I think it's really disappointing. And nobody feels any worse for them than I do, especially if they're a senior and they didn't get to run, or they've been here for 2 or 3 years, or they ran really well last year, but then they've had an injury or they're struggling. But our team's gotten better and better. We've won 2 national championships in the last 5 years, and you know, the quality of what it takes now to run in the NCAA has gotten better. So our team just keeps getting better, and men and women. That we've just, the women's side is just really rose, and so it takes more now to make this team, and it takes especially more to make the Big 12.
What's the difference between the 26th and 27th?
Not much, but you got to pick 26, and so we go with who's been doing good lately, or sometimes that decision is made, which I think a lot of times even the press or a fan, or especially the team, you get caught up in looking at your area. But as head coach, I'm looking at everything, all the events, and if I see a weakness here, even though you might be ranked 9th or 10th, well, I know you can score in that event. And so and I like to be spread out, because you don't know where the weaknesses and the strengths are going to come from. There is a 600, an 800, 1,000, a mile, and a 3K for middle distance. And so outdoors, all those people pretty much got to run the mile and 800. Well, they're going to all go in and out of those events. And so you're hoping, I believe, you put somebody in each event, and that way you cover yourself.
All right, any more questions, Coach?
One last one. What would it mean to bring a women's and a men's Big 12 championship home?
It'd just be incredible. I'd be so proud of our women for getting over the hump, and they're so deserving of it. And then I'd be proud of our men, because it's hard to do this thing 3 times in a row. And but I think our program and our culture of our program is the mentality of it. I think the kids are ready to go. We just need to have a really good meet.